Hello and welcome back to class. My name is Auntie Lara. As you already know, and if you are just joining us, please do well to subscribe. This is the best place you can be, and do well to watch all of my previous videos. So, in today's lesson, we are going to be talking on character analysis and practice questions on par noble. That's in second class citizen. We are still treating the text second class citizen. So let's start. For my old students, you already know that first paragraph has to do with the theme, and the second paragraph has to do with the character description. So the theme that best suits par noble is racial discrimination. And of course, in paragraph 2, you go ahead to describe him. He was married to 6 wives and 21 children back in Nigeria before coming to England. He aspires to be a lawyer. He worked as a janitor before his accident. He married Mrs. Noble, that is Sue, and has many children, 5 children actually. He's the landlord of the house Ada and Francis eventually settles down in. Now, him getting married to 6 wives and 21 children was one of the stories that Ada heard about par noble when she newly met him. Okay, but that story was not ascertained. You don't know if it is actually true, but of a truth, he left kids and wife back in Nigeria before coming to England to study law. Now, from paragraph 3, we start to talk about his roles. He is determined. He didn't give up on himself after he failed to get admission. He worked and studied. He is a bad representation of Africans. He constantly made himself an object of ridicule, that is a jester, to the whites, and they used him to pass time, even to pulling down his pants to show that he does not have a tail, as the whites believe. He was therefore given the name Mr. Noble for always doing his white colleagues' bidding. I'm sure that you know what I'm doing here, that it is PEA. That is points, evidence, and analysis. So if you're talking about the character of Mr. Noble, just imagine that they ask you to talk about the character of Mr. Noble. You're supposed to start with the theme, followed by the character description, and your third paragraph, you're supposed to start with the roles. And of course, you're going to end with his significance. I hope you still remember. Okay, so that's what we are doing here, just in case you're wondering why it is like this. Okay, so another of his role is that he's a drunk. He takes to drinking and will do the white bidding just to have pennies he could use to buy drinks. Another point is that he is gullible. He is asked to prove that Africans are stronger by lifting the elevator without power, which he obliged. This gullible act rendered his arm dislocated and useless as he got trapped while trying to lift the elevator. Like, who does that? Elevator. In Nigeria, we call it lift. Okay, so how would you think that you could raise an elevator with your hands? Just to show how gullible he is. Okay, so another point is that he's famous for the wrong reason. He gets compensated for his injury and was paid off. He used the money to buy a 3-floor house, but the 2 white tenants living in the house before it was bought from Mr. Noble refused to neither move out nor pay a rent increase because they are rent controlled tenants, and he had to make up a story of his mother being a witch, and he will report the 2 sisters to her. The 2 sisters eventually died, and the whole neighborhood thought that they were actually killed by Mr. Noble's mother. So he was unable to rent out the house to another until Ada and Francis. Another role is that he is superstitious. Previous role, that is, he is famous for the wrong reasons. You can actually put it under is superstitious too. Okay, but of course you can also split it this way. He is superstitious. Par noble told Sue, his wife, how he was born in a tree and how his mother fed him on just breast milk until he was 12 years old, and that he had to be weaned because by that time he was old enough to join the menfolk in the farm work. Another evidence is that he never wore clothes until he was taken into the army, and that all his children in Nigeria were brought up that same way. And yet another evidence of his superstitiousness, okay, that there was no food, people die of dysentery every day, and that he only ate meat twice in the year during Yam Festival and the festival of his father's gods. That he only started to live when he got to England and only started to enjoy life when he met Sue. Okay, all of these are not true. So we could put all of this under him being playing the role of a superstitious person. And of course, he is accommodating. We all can attest to the fact that he is accommodating, although Ada had her worries, but since she was already desperate, and since no white would accommodate them, they didn't have any choice than to just go to Panobo. And immediately Panobo opened his door to them. He and his wife were very, very accommodating, so much that they would even hold tea parties and invite them to come join them. Okay, so he welcomed Francis and Ada into his house with warmness and smiles. His wife is also very welcoming. He at some point encouraged Ada to buy toys for her kids and be paying weekly. He and his wife Sue invite Ada to bring her kids down for tea. I forgot to put this, and the last is supposed to be the significance, and the significance of Panobo. Like, why did they put the character Panobo in the story? Why was his character introduced? Okay, yeah, his character represents Africans who feel very, very less of themselves and would go to any length, even to demeaning themselves, in order to survive in the white man land. Okay, and so we see Panobo is just a typical African that goes there and wants to survive either by lying, either by hook or by crook, and we see him working his way in until he was able to get a house. Okay, Panobo represents Africans who do not, or who consider themselves as second-class citizens, and who consider themselves inferior to the whites, and would always do the white bidding, even to their own detriment. Okay, that is how you're expected to end your essay. So let's go to this practice question. Panobo is a disgrace to African discourse. So here, from all of the things that we have said earlier, you just pick out the points. Okay, if you have this question, Panobo is a disgrace to African, of course you are supposed to start with a theme. Of course, racial discrimination. Yes, the second paragraph, you're supposed to describe Panobo, and then your third to the end of your essay, you're supposed to now talk about different reasons why he is considered to be a disgrace to Africans. Okay, and then you end. All right, and then the second question, discuss the events that lead to Panobo's accident, which is also in this video. So make sure that you start also with the theme. Your second paragraph, you describe Panobo, and then you talk about how that he had an intention of wanting to become a lawyer, but of course life happened to him and he didn't get admission, and along the line the money that he brought from Nigeria finished, and he had to do menial jobs. And because he wanted to prove a point, he wanted to convince them, that Africans are strong and all, he needed to do their bidding by using his hand to carry an elevator, and that was how he got the accident. Okay, so you just explain all of those, and this brings us to the end of this lesson. If you have any question, do well to drop it in the comment section. If you find this helpful, like, share, subscribe, and till I come your way next class, stay safe. Bye.